Let's take a look at UV mapping a head. Well, when deciding to texture your head, depending on what you're going to use it for, you might decide to, in the surface editor, you might decide to, let's go to skin. You might decide to go with just an image map, and you can planar map it, cylindrical map it, spherical, cubic, front, projection map it, or UV map it. Now, if you're going to be working in with a gaming engine, you're pretty much left with UV mapping it. And I've found that even when not working with a game engine, UV mapping can be one of the most accurate ways to put an image map on something, because it locks it down to the point, which can be really handy, especially for character animation. So what I'm going to do is let's go ahead and just close this, and let's take a look at applying a UV map to the vertices that make up this head. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've got my vertex map panels down here. I'm going to go over to T for texture for creating a new UV map, and from this list I'm going to select new. I'm going to give my texture name, I'll just say head, or head works. I was going to say face, but we're going to UV map the whole head. And under map type, I can choose planar, cylindrical, spherical, or atlas. Atlas will break it up and determine the direction that the surface normals are facing. It will automatically place it. But in the case of a face, I want the skin texture to smoothly transition over all polygons, so I'm going to use cylindrical. Under subpatch interpolation, I'm going to go ahead and choose across discontinuous edges, which will work with subpatch polygons, which we have here. Of course, if you were working with a gaming engine, you would probably want to freeze your object and triple it before you send it over, but you could UV map it before you freeze it, and then you're working with less geometry. So I'm going to go ahead and choose across discontinuous edges, down the Y, and let's go ahead and choose that. And if I want to view my UV map, well, I can just change my viewport up here to UV texture. Let's zoom in. Okay. And let's go ahead and just go full screen. Now, one of the nice things about UV mapping in Modeler is that once I have my UV map, I have all of the modeling tools that I had to create the object. I have all of those that I can use to manipulate the UV map itself. So I can use the drag tool and drag this around if I need to. I can rotate. Let's choose rotate and rotate this, right? And right now I have free move selected, which means that I can move these freely without it worrying about pulling these points. But if I turn free move off, I can move this around. It's going to move the geometry around it, right? Because it's connected. So let's go to free move, and let's move that over here. So I can use all my modify tools to manipulate my UV map. And once I have it the way I want, I can go into Photoshop, paint the texture. Photoshop or your favorite paint package, and paint the texture that you want, and then map it on there. This is a quick example of working with UV maps.